everyone. Welcome to the Felicity, Optimist versus Cynic podcast with us, your hosts, Melissa and Fish. This is a Felicity rewatch podcast. We'll watch an episode each week and join you here to talk about it. And a reminder, the same one we always give, this is not a spoiler-free podcast, so be warned. We could mention things that come up in future episodes of the show. I am Melissa, and I'm here with my glorious co-host, Fish. Fish, how are you doing today?
Glorious. Yeah, this is an episode. Lot of stuff.
Sure was. Which episode was it? You might be asking yourself. Well, let me tell you. It was season 4, episode 11, A Perfect Match. This one originally aired December 19th, 2001. This is going to be your mid-season finale right here. It was written by Julie Blumberg and Joy Gregory and directed by our favorite, or one of them anyway, I think, Lawrence Trilling.
Yay.
And the episode description is a lengthy one. It is this. The collegiate drama's winter hiatus is preceded by a fateful storm. Thanks to the weather, which delays her flight home for the holidays, Ben manages to catch Felicity in time to tell her he wants to get back together. Felicity embraces the idea without hesitation, but Ben has one more bridge to cross before he can fully focus on their relationship. The snowfall has also delayed the arrival of his father's donor liver, and Ben must weigh the consequences of letting his mother donate part of her own. Meanwhile, Noel and Sean embark on a joint business venture. Yep.
Okay.
Podcast over. That was a lot. No, we did it. So that's what we're talking about.
And they did pretty well, I think. Lots of big words. So clearly the intern that they had this time really watched the show and used a thesaurus.
Sure. It's the same person every time who writes the ones that start the collegiate drama. Wow. Yeah. Well, I feel like this is an episode split in two. There's like the pre them getting back together and post them getting back together.
Okay.
To me, it feels like that anyway. I don't know. But we're going to start with the pre, as you logically would. So we're going to get Ben knocking on Felicity's door. Mm-hmm. It's late.
Very.
She probably got woken up by the knock, but anyway, he just got out from the hospital. We're going to get a really whispery, long pausey kind of conversation between these two.
Yes, this episode was in general very whispery.
Yeah, a lot of whispers. A lot of...
Yeah.
Yeah, that was high in whisper for those of you who needed... who needed a little help with that over the podcast. I'm
gonna have to amplify that.
Yeah, well, then I wouldn't be a whisper, Fish.
Well, yeah, I just think your whispers deserve to be heard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
as do theirs. Boy, is it a whispery conversation. And Ben, it's like Ben just doesn't know what he's doing there or why this is to me shades of freshman year post robbery when Ben just keeps calling and showing up and they're having these late night conversations, and it kind of seems like that's happening again, but not out of his trauma, out of hers, you know?
I mean, he's showing up and he has the Felicity smiles. He has them for a good part of, the whole episode, even when things aren't going so great. It's
Did
like
you see them here in this scene?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He knocks on the door. He's like, did I wake you up? I'm just here to say hi. And he's got the Felicity smiles.
Good.
It's like, and he's there to say things like, oh, yeah, and my dad doesn't have a liver, and my mom's a match, but...
I'm going to give you my best Felicity smile while giving you loads of exposition. Yay!
That, and also not, like, the cheeriest.
No.
Right? It's like, oh, Well, that information doesn't normally elicit such a smile, but okay.
Maybe there's something comfortable about like being able to share information like this with her. I don't
I
know.
think he just can't not like he's now in a space where he wants to be with her, and when he sees her it's not all pain.
Yeah.
And so he's back to the like this is his face when he sees Felicity.
Oh, Benjamin.
I know.
Well, but yeah, what he's delivering isn't great. I mean, dad hasn't gotten a liver, mom's a match, but dad won't let her donate it or a piece of her
Yes.
liver. That's,
Hmm.
not ideal. Anything. Nothing about this is ideal.
No.
Um, and then Felicity's going to share that she's going home for the break. Nice long pause there.
Yeah. It's
Hmm.
like, okay. I mean, I did really like the lighting on this. I mean, it made both of them look gorgeous. Obviously, it's early in the morning, slash late at night, but it must be late at night. But I thought they had nice lighting. But Felicity is, she's a little confused, I guess
Yeah.
is the word.
Yeah.
She's like, all right, Ben, look, you're stopping by and you're calling, and that's great.
And she
Love
says,
seeing you.
just wanted to point out, she says the last few weeks. So
Yeah.
my assumption here is that it's been a few weeks since the fire,
Mm-hmm.
although that doesn't make a lick of sense.
Doesn't matter. We're not dealing with
Time is a
time.
construct. Let's just be clear,
Yeah.
the fire happened weeks after Thanksgiving and it's still before Christmas.
That
So
that is correct.
I don't know what's
We're just
happening.
gonna have to ignore a lot of time stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, whatever.
um,
But point is, he's been doing this a lot. This is not the
yeah.
first time that Ben is knocking on her door. Um, we've seen a call post fire. We're seeing this. This is not the only stuff that he's been doing.
And he's still going to the hospital and everything. And I think now that he's kind of, I think he trusts her. Now that he's starting to trust her, he's starting to rely on. Has been his MO, right? So he just keeps coming back. Um, and she's there for him, except she's kind of calling him out on it.
Yeah.
She's like, you keep stopping by, but then you're pulling away, and it's hurting me.
Yeah. And he's like, sorry.
Yeah,
And that was a
with as
whisper, but
much
I was trying to make
whisper.
it audible.
Yeah,
Yep.
perfect,
Like it. Great
perfect.
stuff. Yeah. And she's like, no, no, no. See, here's the deal. If you want to
Yeah,
start over, I wouldn't hesitate a second.
yeah. Like just say the word. Like literally, please say the words.
Yeah. But that's not what you're saying, is it? She asks.
And he answers with no words, zero words. So just silence and sad, sad music. She's like, cool, 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 cool. Got it. Um, I'm gonna go back to bed, closes the door in his face, and he just kind of stands there and has what I consider to be a very loud swallow. There's
Yeah.
just like an audible swallowing.
Yeah. And there's
Like,
the old, all
okay,
right, have a good break.
yeah,
That will be all. I just can't. Like, I'm going to bed. Count me
pretty
out.
much.
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't say like don't come back. She's just like, all right, well, got it. Like, this is the page. Guess we're both on it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it needed to be said, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, she's giving him a nudge because what's he doing? He doesn't know. He's not. He's taking enough initiative to have the conversations, but I think she needs some clarity here.
Mm-mm.
Should she be walking on eggshells, or is this thing normal?
Yeah. But I think also she just wanted to let him know like where she stood. Like this thing you're doing here has a time clock.
Yeah.
There's only so much I can take.
Yeah. But then after that,
Yes.
you know, I don't know. So okay, well let's go to Javier.
Hmm. Oh, okay. Well, first I want to say, I mean, Felicity has come so far in the decorating department since
Hmm.
season one. I
Okay.
mean, her room looks great. They've painted it. She's got a nice bedspread. There is nary a bike helmet
Neri.
to be found.
Wow.
Um,
Huh.
but she's
Okay.
packing up some stuff.
She's packing up some stuff. The thing that she first holds up is the necklace that Ben gave her post robbery. This is really coming together for me. As I said those words, and after the thing I said at the start of this, I think I'm supposed to be remembering the robbery. Um, So
Little
she takes
callback there.
that little necklace, she puts it in a box full of Ben stuff because I guess that's what she thinks just happened.
I mean, I, I don't know. Uh, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
feel like that was exactly communicated, but
It wasn't, but maybe the lack of a yes felt like a no to her. I don't know. She's not torching the box, so that's good.
yeah,
Um,
I mean, she's keeping it. I would assume she's not gonna like give it back to him or throw it out a window. And apparently, this is how people deal with breakups. I've never had a breakup box. But not only does Felicity have one, apparently Javier also did the same thing with Samuel's stuff. But he's not
yeah.
going to say that quite yet.
Well, first he's going to enter and he's going to really hassle her about the fact that he was able to just walk in
Uh-huh.
because
Yeah,
the door was not locked.
yeah. Because he walks in the room and he starts talking about like Iowa or Indiana or something like that. And I wrote down, how did he get in?
Mm-hmm.
And then he proceeds to berate her about locking the door, which, fair, deserved.
Yeah.
Lock your freaking door.
Yeah. How quickly they forget James.
Yeah, someone
Um,
almost died, and you almost lost Ben to a blonde haired lady.
yeah, how
So,
quickly we forget all that.
hmm.
Hmm. Well, yeah, so then Javier gets over it and they're gonna talk, he's gonna, reminisce about packing up stuff. But he
Yeah,
figures they can make themselves feel better by going to the snowball. He
of
wants everybody
course.
to go.
Yes. He's invited everyone. He's got tickets. And I love that Rita's in this. I love I love that Javier, which okay, I get it. He's still in school and therefore gets to bring a date ish. Um yeah, he's invited everyone. And
Well, Rita's in school too.
ish, well
She's in the
that
same class
depends
as
on
him.
if the acting class is part of the school, which we never actually decided.
I would assume that it is.
Okay. Well, then
Yeah.
there you go.
Megan is
Two
eventually
people.
going to be in the same class. So,
Weird.
yes. So I'm going to go ahead and say I think this one's through the school. So Rita also has access to the snowball. Um, but
Sure.
Felicity declines because she's flying out today. Gotta go. Can't do it, Javier. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, she'd like to say yes because we know how much she likes to say yes to things,
Yeah.
especially when she's not able to do them.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one actually, there are flight plans.
Sure are.
So,
Can't change those. So she's flying out
mm-mm.
today.
Yep.
And we're going to head over to the loft because I'm so satisfied that you asked a question. Was it just last episode?
It was. And I actually thought later, I was like, oh, well, no. Yeah, he needs an idea, a visionary kind of person. How was my immediate thought? Not Sean.
I
Like,
don't know. You went through just about every other character, and I was giggling
right.
to myself
It's
quietly
silly. It's
slash
silly of me.
silently. Um,
Of course it's
yeah,
Sean.
sure is. So, I mean, like the payoff of it was almost immediately after you asked that question.
Yeah.
So, clearly, he really did need a partner.
Yes,
um,
he
yeah,
absolutely did. And you know what? So does Sean.
that's true.
I mean,
That's
they
true.
need each other. Sean's the visionary sales guy, and Noel is clearly the operations. So hopefully this will work out because they're adorable.
Yeah.
Um, but my first thought was Noel's still in the loft,
You're reading my mind, right? So wasn't it not like maybe 2 episodes ago that Megan was like, when is this man leaving the loft?
right?
And then
Yeah.
after the fire, he was just still living in the loft. And
Uh-huh.
then he's still just living in the loft.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just trying to wait Ben out. Like Ben's going to graduate eventually. Surely he won't be staying in New York.
Definitely a possibility. I think he's, very focused on this new thing that he's doing. But I guess if he and Sean are going to go into business together, then maybe that gives him a little bit more leeway with the whole "I'm a squatter currently" dilemma.
Yeah, if I really sit here and try to think about it, I'm pretty sure he never moves out. Um,
Yep.
because I have some upcoming scenes in my head. I have a scene from like almost the end of the season proper where he's still there. So I don't know. Just ignore the whole he was thinking about moving out thing. Just ignore
Yeah. I mean, look, my prediction was he would get an apartment and then Zoe would burn it down and he wouldn't be able to leave because, of course, he can't leave. And I said, they're not going to let him leave. So there was a fire and he's still there. So I feel like I get half credit on that.
it. Okay. Okay.
Maybe.
Probably not, but that's fine.
That's fair.
Yeah, so we're in the loft, Noel's on his computer, and Sean enters pretty excited because he went over to 8th Street Sporting Goods to pitch Schmegan shirts, but instead ended up pitching a whole new website
Yes.
to the owner of the store. And
Yes.
so he says, we got a client meeting.
And I was like, that's fantastic. Wait, wait. What do you mean,
Mhm.
wait?
Yeah. So Sean pitches himself to Noel. He's like, look, I can get you business, is what's going to happen here. Noel has some reservations. He's like, you know what? I don't know about this whole mixing friends and business thing.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, Sean's already in business with his wife, so clearly he has no boundary issues.
Mhm.
Um, he's like, it'll be fine. Well, trial basis. Trial basis. It's cool. You don't like it? We
Yeah.
won't do it.
Yeah. So Noel agrees. I mean, it's a reluctant agreement. It's an
He
agreement.
did just get a client though,
No, he
so
didn't. He's
well,
about to go
a
through a
lead.
completely unrealistic process.
Yes, he got a
Um,
lead on a potential client. Yes,
yeah.
correct.
So, okay, let's go to the hospital where, in one of the sweetest moments of Ben and his dad, Ben is watching TV while his dad stares at him concerned.
Oh, I thought he was asleep at first.
Well, his dad's, regardless, he looks over at Ben and he's like, hmm, something's wrong with this kid. So he articulates it. He says, what's wrong?
Yeah,
Actually, I already know. Lauren
yeah.
told me that you broke up with Felicity.
I'm guessing she probably didn't then mention what happened, but all right.
Probably not.
Mm-mm.
Ben's like, oh, I didn't want to do. You have more important things to worry about. Dad's like, more important than my son's happiness? Heck no. This is, welcome to new dad. Welcome.
I guess.
I mean,
Um, so he's gonna say, his dad's gonna say what happened. And Ben's basically just going to come out and say, well, she cheated.
Mm.
And Dad, of course, very helpfully says, oh, sorry.
Yeah. But I'm noticing in this episode, people have a lot of stances in their advice for Ben. They have like
Hmm.
clear, definitive opinions about what he should be doing, and they deliver it not so softly, but softly enough, I guess, that he takes it on board in every case.
I mean, Ben seems to need a little direction at this point.
I think that Ben, I don't know if it's that he needs direction or that we're supposed to take it that he's so transparently like what he needs is so transparent to the people around him that they can just say it and it is the nudge that he needed. You know, like I don't know. I also don't know exactly how like what Lauren communicated to him and how it came across. You
That's true.
know, was it like you're broken up and it kind of seems like he wants to be back together with her? I don't know.
Yeah, could have
Could be.
said that. Um, but I don't know. I kind of like the whole Socratic method that his dad goes through here. He's like, sorry, but you love her.
Right?
Uh, but
And
you
he's
think
like,
she might do it again?
I was like,
No?
no.
And then he's like, well, then, you're stupid and prideful. Way to go, Dad.
Then Ben's like, no, it's not that. And he's like,
But
well,
he
then what
doesn't
is
know
it?
what it is. Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
know what it is.
Yeah. He can't put his finger on it. Dad's like, you know what? No more questions. Story time.
Yay.
It's like, look, I've had a lot of time to think lying here in this bed. And you know what I came to the conclusion of? I decided love someone.
Yeah.
It's the
Love will
only
bring
thing
us
that really
together.
matters.
Uh, yeah, sure. All right. But apparently something else that really matters is, if you're alive or not. So
Yeah,
we're gonna get we're gonna get Ben's mom rushing into the room, being like,
she's happy.
"Oh my goodness, this is so wonderful." Um,
Meanwhile, his
I
face, the whole face lights up. You know,
yeah,
just exudes happiness.
yes. She's like, "You've got it. You've got the liver. Like, I know you said I couldn't do the surgery. I get it. You just yelled at me. Stop it. Um, it's coming in from Philadelphia."
It's on the
And
way.
then so like
Yay.
a happy family moment.
And it's like a full celebration. You know, mom and dad are so happy, and she leans down to hug him. And Ben sees his parents being all affectionate and happy, and he smiles. He's
Yeah, it
just,
takes him a second. Like,
yeah.
first he's a little wary, and then he's like, all right, I will smile now.
Hmm. Well, I kind of feel like it had to hit him. What I'm assuming is happening here is it's not really very much reluctance at all because this interaction is the thing that prompts him to go and fix things with Felicity. So as much
I
as
saw
you
it.
and I can analyze this and think, what kind of baggage? Like it's
Yeah,
this happy scene, but he's probably seen happy love bombing scenes before between his parents that were followed by devastation.
yeah.
So, like, we can look at it like, oh, this is the continuance of a cycle. But I don't know. Like, are we supposed to be bleak or optimistic about the fact that he's about to get back together with Felicity on the back of seeing this?
I mean, I'll probably be bleak and you'll be optimistic. I mean, that's the way it goes. I don't know if it's so much bleak as cynical, but for me, I think the stuff that his dad had to say
Excuse me, did you
more
just
so.
debate with me bleak versus cynical?
Yeah, those are two different
Not
words.
just cynic. Like, no,
Some
get
may
it straight.
say
Use the right words,
factually
Melissa.
correct.
Bleak, no. Cynical, yes. Okay.
Well, I don't think it's bleak. I think it's cynical. There's a difference.
I think it
You
could be
didn't
bleak,
use a different word for optimist,
but I think it could be bleak.
but do you think it could be something other than optimistic?
Hopeful.
There you go. So you're going to be
Sure.
hopeful. All right, you be hopeful, I'll be bleak, and we'll balance each other out.
Okay.
Um, so I think it's really
So,
what his dad said.
okay.
And frankly, the fact that he was kind of already there. I guess I think there was probably a little bit of a high going on with the liver's coming and like what's really important, and he's in a happy place, and now apparently you know, he's that's how he feels.
Yeah, or it also could be, and we don't get his thought process here, and I don't know that we need to, but it could also be like, well, he's put together, he always wants to go to Felicity with the bad news, but maybe in
Mhm.
this moment he also wants to go to her with the good stuff. And maybe, he sees them hugging and he's just thinking like, I want to tell Felicity about this. He
Yeah.
doesn't run to tell her that, but he runs to like that, that realization, maybe like, I'm noticing a pattern that every time I have something to share with a person, I always want to share it with Felicity. Maybe I should just
Interesting.
be with her. Could be.
Could be, but we don't get there quite yet.
Yeah.
First, we have to go back to a scene between Javier, Felicity, Megan, and Elena, all at Felicity's apartment.
In the kitchen.
And Javier is just going to drop a little information. He's on the phone. He's talking to Rita. Seems like they're friends now.
Mhm.
Apparently, they are going to do video dating. And as much as I'm not a huge fan of all the apps and the internet dating, I am so glad that I never had to go through the video dating.
Yeah. We don't actually see what this looks like just yet, but we will. It's not
Mm,
pretty.
it's not pretty. No.
But they're setting a date to help each other pick their dates, I guess. They want to work through it together.
Hmm. I mean, gosh, you'd need someone, right? Both for like moral support, but also I feel like everyone's got to come off creepy. So you need someone there to be like, no, that's really creepy. And
Yeah.
like, that might just be the format.
Yeah. It seems fair.
Yeah.
It seems fair. Well, we're going to interrupt this moment, this setup of their plot line for Felicity to say goodbye to everybody in the room because she does have to get on her flight. So she's going to go away. She says goodbyes, except to Megan, who doesn't do goodbyes. Nope, not a thing.
No, no hugs. Still no hugs.
Yeah.
But
He'll stay consistent with that for her for the rest of the season, too.
all right.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed this moment where Felicity walks outside. She's got her stuff and she like self-assuredly gets herself a taxi.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, look how far you've come. Good job.
Yeah. We're gonna get some music here. Uh so I looked up what was originally in the episode, and then also there's what I heard on the DVD, and I have no idea what you heard, but I wanted to share the first two versions. So the one I heard on the DVD was Leah Longo's Breathe, which is okay. The lyrics are appropriate. It's an okay song. Um, Not my absolute favorite, but it's nice. Then I looked up the original, and it was Chantal Kreviazik's Far Away, if that's how you say her last name. And I think she was a pretty big deal artist. And it's that song "So Far Away from Me." And although it's beautiful, it is a beautiful song. And I do wish I would have seen this scene with that music to it, but the lyrics don't make sense
Hmm.
to me.
I feel like
So
I had generic music for most of this. There were a couple of times where I picked out some lyrics, but there was a
yeah.
there was a lot of changing of music. like in between each scene and sometimes in the middle of a scene.
Yeah.
We all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Um, but
Well,
it didn't strike me. Like there was nothing where I was like, ah,
hmm.
like the music is making this scene, but it also, other than the music.
I'm guessing
Um,
that both of those artists were too big to get this approved for streaming.
Probably.
Is what I think happened there. But to me, it seemed like they had really put some effort into this song for a big moment. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
this whole thing is going to be a montage.
Yes. Which
It's
I
going to
like.
be, yeah,
I
it's going to
like
be
this.
Felicity grabbing the cab, confidently hailing it, like you said.
Hmm.
Ben is going to leave the hospital, and then they look up,
I
and
know.
she looks up, and he look up, and there's snow coming down, little flakes of snow.
It's not pink this time,
No, it
but
wasn't a
it's
ton
still
of
snow.
snow, but it was snow. Um, okay, so that's good. And then Ben's like, gotta go. And he
Yeah.
starts running.
Yeah, lots of running.
A lot of running.
It's
We're
like
gonna see a lot of
running
Ben
and
running.
then more running and then slow motion running.
Running into the camera,
Yeah,
running
lots of
around people on the crowded streets of New York,
running. Hmm.
running, and then a bus cuts in front of him, but he's still running, and you could see it through the glass window.
Yep.
That's a Lawrence Trilling move right there.
We had a couple. We had a couple of those,
Yeah.
like through
I
a
liked this
window.
one. There's a thing he does later that I'm like, why are you doing this? But this, this scene I thought was done nicely.
Okay.
And then
So running.
where does he run first? He runs to Felicity's apartment, even though we know she's not there anymore.
That's
Ugh,
correct.
gosh.
But thankfully, he runs straight into Javier, who's
Mhm.
leaving to go and check out his many, many options for video dating. And Ben's just like, Felicity! And
Where is
Javier's like,
she?
whoa, okay, dude, you missed her. She's left an hour ago for the airport. And Ben's just like, what airport? What airline? Where is Felicity?
And Javier says LaGuardia. He's like, I'm going to LaGuardia. Javier wants to know if he can come.
Yeah.
Ben says,
And no,
hard no. That's a
no.
hard no.
But Javier's like, oh, it's so romantic.
Yeah, music's still playing, and then we cut to the airport at the gate where Felicity is waiting because her
Yeah,
flight's been delayed,
just sitting,
fortunately.
just reading. And I get what you're saying about September 11th. Yes, he would have to purchase a ticket. But you know what? We didn't see any of that part of it. It's not like he ran through like security or anything and like didn't
Well,
have a
I
ticket.
don't feel like think about pre 9/11 and how many films had these like great airport scenes, the gate.
Yeah.
Um, and while you could do it now, it'd be like, okay, so you run,
Mm-hmm.
you run, and then you buy a ticket, and
Yep.
then you stand in line at
Yep.
security for a hot minute, and then you get like, you go through the little scanner thing with
Yep.
your hands.
Correct.
Like,
It's less romantic.
it is not
Well,
like
but is it
all of
less
the mood gets
romantic?
killed by that.
I don't know. It's like, on the one hand, there's no like mad, passionate dash. On the other hand, you have to be really committed to finding this person,
Sure.
you
I
know?
mean, I don't know. I don't know if anybody's tried to do run up to somebody standing in line at security and talk through a whole like the 200 people standing in line. Have a moment with somebody who's like halfway in, totally embedded within the people. I think if anybody knows if anybody's tried to do a scene like that, I would be interested because I think that's the adaptation that is probably
Yeah.
more modern day, but it's not cinematic unless you do it
No.
just like what I said, and then it's weird. I don't know.
Yeah. I'd
It,
watch it though.
but I guess this is one of the. I assume that they filmed this pre 9/11,
Yeah.
and then they were like, can we make it? No, we're just leaving. It's fine. Whatever.
That or they cut out like him like running through security or
Can you
whatever it is he
imagine
had
if
to do.
can you imagine if like as they start kissing he's tackled by
Yeah, that's
like
exactly what
10
I was
security guards?
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, we can't have nice things anymore.
I know.
Nope.
But you know what? We can have this because Ben, he gets there, he's out of breath, and what does he say? He's like, I just thought you might be here because of a delay because of the snow.
The flake that came down that I saw.
I was like,
Their
all
snow
right,
machine was not really
weird
producing
opener,
much. Yeah.
but okay,
Yeah.
you're there.
Yeah. And he misses her and he wants to start over. And they kiss.
Yeah, this actually, it was a very nice
It's
scene.
a very nice
Even your
scene.
cynic was like, oh, yes, all right. And I had my music in the background had the lyric just said over and over again, like, you want someone who can let you breathe.
Mm-hmm.
So it was appropriately romantic. At which point
We might
I
have had
made,
the same song.
it's possible. Um, at which point I put a little note to the side saying, his dad's gonna die.
Ah, yes.
But
Well, before we get that,
that's
we're gonna get
like,
the
but that didn't
little
happen. So I was like, hey, you know, good on the
yeah.
show for not going down my cynical route of let's take the most romantic moment and just assume it's going to end in death.
Yeah, well, it ends in
Inevitably, we know it will, but
yeah, it ends
yeah,
in a concerning moment for sure. But um so yeah, they're kissing. He's like, wait, you're not leaving, are you? She's like, no, I'm
you
no.
know,
And then they
this is the
hug.
start of his like desperate grabbing onto Felicity moments.
This was a rough episode for Ben. Poor Ben. He what the best times and the worst of times is what I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, this snowstorm came with a trade-off.
It did, yeah. But this really was a sweet moment of connection between the two. I did like this scene, and I just really felt they just acted so well. Good.
I mean, it was a good kiss. I'm not gonna lie.
But
It
it
was
was
a good
also a good it was a good hug with Carrie Russell kind of like basically crying. I
Mhm.
don't know. I actually really did feel what this felt like for them.
Yeah, and I
Um,
mean, he came and he said the exact thing that she said he needed to say, right? She's
yeah.
like, if you want to start, you say you want to start over right now, this second at the door, instead of just breathing heavily, I'm in.
Hmm.
And so he runs there and he says that. So it's like, all right, well, yay.
Hmm. Yeah.
Cut to,
So now we're at Ben's room, looking
well,
through
we're
this,
outside Ben's room,
yeah,
looking
looking through the
through a
snow into the
window.
window at them.
I liked it. I
Hmm.
did. I was like, it's another one. Like, and then we get to come inside with them.
Yeah, yeah. You like those moments where they start from outside the window.
I do.
Yeah. Um, so they're in bed. It's the morning after. He kisses her awake.
Yeah, he's just laying there watching her sleep, but not in a creepy stalker way. Just in a, you
She's
know,
in my bed. Yeah.
right, like the happy. And here
Yay.
again, we get the Felicity smiles.
Yeah. And Ben's just got all the rose colored glasses on. And he's like, what should we do today? Felicity's like, everything. He's like, but what first? Ben's like, well, okay, first I have to go to the hospital. But then what? He's like, how about we go on a date?
And
Which
she's
is
like,
like,
date? Well, the thing is, I was invited last night to go to the snowball dance.
yeah.
I mean, I guess there's an extra ticket for him.
Mm-hmm.
I I don't know what happened there. I assume Javier hadn't bought him one, but all right, sure. Um, and then she wants to go sledding,
Yeah.
and I
Probably the other way around.
Probably. Yes.
Yeah.
First she says, let's go to the dance, and then she says we should go sledding. But
But I think
probably
she
they
actually
did
said,
it
then
in the
let's go
reverse order.
sledding. But I think she really needs to consider like sledding in a nice dress, not going to work. Um,
But Ben's just like, yes, yes, yes. He's
mhm.
like, everything, yes.
It's all
And
perfect. This is the
there's
best
a knock.
day ever.
Yes.
Bring.
Well, but there's a knock on the door, and I just loved his, like, he's smiling, he's looking at Felicity, he's like, yes, 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 go away. I mean, he's so forceful. Go away.
Yeah.
Like, nothing interrupt this moment.
Yeah, it's perfect. Megan is going to she has the phone in her hand. It's Ben's mom.
Yeah,
Ben grabs the phone from Megan. Megan sees Felicity. She's like, oh,
right. She didn't know where. Well, she didn't know that Felicity was there.
no, she did not.
So she's like,
Felicity's
huh,
like, he came to the airport.
yeah. And Megan just says, ha ha, don't you ever doubt my spells. When have we ever doubted her spells? Seriously,
Never.
they work. That's one of my big problems.
Oh.
Remember with the nutmeg?
Sure, but this doesn't feel like a Clove inspired.
No, yes. I was fine with this. I was like, just sure. Take your credit, take your
Feels like they're
bow.
trying to build up to it. It feels legit. Yeah.
It does.
So Ben comes back in. The mood is altered, but so Megan's like, nicely done
Yeah.
to Ben, but he is not in the same place as he was when he left the room.
No. Now he is head in hands, Ben,
Yeah, he
sitting on
sits
the
at the
bed.
foot of the bed and he's just distraught, is the word I would use for him.
Yes.
City wants to know what's up. He says, that storm, hey, remember the storm that delayed your plane? It also delayed the plane that's carrying. So it delayed the plane that's carrying the liver, but the answer is his dad won't get it. So does that mean that it was only preserved for the exact length of time for the flight?
Um,
How does this work?
and I do think there would be a helicopter, but yeah, what'll happen is it's only good for, X amount of time after it has been removed from the body.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, if they can't get it to Ben's dad, they're probably going to give it to whoever they can get it to that's on the list. So it's
Oh,
probably going to someone in that
somebody
hospital
local,
in
somebody in
Philly.
Philly. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. The more you know. Okay, so there's that. And now Felicity is, she's gonna give him the best hug. The hug from behind, but she's like really enveloping him. She's like,
Yeah.
I've got you.
Yeah. It's the
This
supportive
moment's
hug.
not good. Yeah.
She's good with that. I mean, she's been playing Miss Supportive for quite a while. It's nice that she can do it authentically now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we are going to head over to 8th Street Sporting Goods, where we're going to meet Eric, the business owner.
Correct.
Sean and Noel are pitching. Well,
In full suits. They've
mhm.
both shown up in full suit and tie.
They have slightly different styles,
They
you
do.
might say.
Hmm. Wait,
Sean's,
you noticed like a style, like a you're not talking about the clothes, are you?
no, I'm talking about the pitches.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I was
Hey,
surprised there for a
my name
minute.
is Melissa. Nice to meet you. Fish.
Okay. Go
Um,
ahead.
Sean's all, this is how dreams are made, Eric.
And
And
Noel's like, here's an example of what yours could look like that I've already mocked up.
for it's his own mock-up
Yes,
for
for his own
school.
website.
Yeah. Very important to know that, right? And so Eric, you can see that Eric kind of bristles every time Sean talks, and he's
Well,
interested
he
every time Noel
says,
does.
I don't want to be pushed.
I
And
mean,
Sean's like, How about shoved?
Yeah.
Maybe like wrestled? You want to wrestle?
Tickle
Uh,
fight. um,
mm,
yeah. Eric doesn't like Sean, let's face it.
no.
So then Eric's like, okay, so I really want to see something, basically my site, but haven't paid for it yet. So
Pretty
I'll
much.
just, if you could just mock something up, but oh shoot, I'm gonna be away. Can I see it tomorrow? Sean's like, yeah, you bet.
And Noel's like, absolutely not.
um, Noel loses. And so this wouldn't happen, guys. This this isn't a thing. Noel would not mock up an entire site to get the job.
I don't know. Honestly, one, the force of nature that is Sean. And two, this is his first client and he's never potential client and he's never run a business before. I
Guess
can
not.
see this
This is a
happening.
hard pass. This is a heck no. This is a let me show you in a way that's not building your whole site, a
Hmm.
visual of what this might look like. And you might do
Like
that in,
pen and paper,
yeah, or like
a
just like
PowerPoint slide.
visual designs, but not
No,
a whole HTML like
no,
situation. You're not going to be coding this thing. You're
no.
not going to be making fully fleshed out animations. This is a big ask and something everybody should say no to if they have a business. Um,
This is from like the marketing business expert here, what you should do. Now, we're in fact going to see the exact opposite, what you should not do. And don't think for a second that this is how things should work. That's what we're hearing from our optimist.
yeah, like this is just not fair. Like that's like this is like the people who say do all of your work for free because it's exposure.
Mhm.
People can't pay bills with
With exposure.
exposure is the thing. So hey, I get that they're trying to get a client here, fine, but do not make this a business
First
practice,
client.
folks. Yeah.
And also, again, let's remember Sean because on the way out, he's got a few things you'd like to pitch in terms of names. Blumberg Crane Graphics.
Mm-hmm.
No, don't like that. How about
Wow.
Sean Knoll Graphics? I feel like I do
Noel's
that a
just
lot.
not into it. He's like, stop it. I'm
Well,
like, I'm
also he
currently in
now
a fight with
has,
you.
yeah, he's got a ton of work right now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're gonna go over to the hospital where we have Felicity and Ben. Mom is
And
crying.
yeah, I was gonna say Felicity and Ben and Ben's mom and dad
Yeah, well, his dad's unconscious. His mom is crying.
hooked back up to the ventilator, which let's remember he did not want to be on in the first place.
Yeah. Um,
It's awkward.
it's not a good day. So I was wondering about how they were going to do this. So Ben's like, "Hey, mom, you remember Felicity?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, nice to see you again." And I'm sitting here thinking, she never met her. Tell me when you met her.
They
Name one
lived
time you met
They
her.
lived in Palo Alto. Remember, she saw her, didn't? Well,
She
Felicity saw
saw
some
the
version of
dad.
her. No, 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 at the
Okay, at
graduation in the
graduation.
first
But
episode.
Ben wouldn't have introduced his first mom to Felicity. He didn't, she was fighting with her. She walked away. Felicity came up and shared the yearbook. She's like, "Hey, I'm Felicity, remember?"
Well,
That's not
remember
a girl
when
you
they
introduced to
had
your mom.
the week before he left for Mexico when they drove across country? Maybe she met him then. Her then.
Maybe.
They've been dating a while. I feel like it's
Sure, but that
not.
doesn't mean she's met his mom. But name one break they've spent together.
Damn it. If only Colorado had turned out, his mom
I
would have
know, but
visited.
then they would have been in Colorado. I was like, but BS. BS. Ben's mom,
But
name one time
also,
you've met this woman.
who, like, his mom is not in a proper state of mind
No.
at this point in time. So Ben could have said, like, hey, mom, meet my turtle. And she would have been like, nice to meet you, turtle.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah,
Well, so, his mom's still crying and she wishes she could see Felicity again under better circumstances, but here we are.
yes.
And it's a
But
little awkward.
it's a little awkward. Felicity thinks it's so awkward. She's like, your family's having a moment. I haven't met your mom. She thinks she knows me. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go outside. And
Yeah, Ben asks
Ben's
her to
like, no.
stay.
Yeah. This is gonna be a recurring theme for Ben.
Yeah,
Like, do not leave my side.
pretty much. So his mom has reopened the conversation. She's like, I want to donate part of my liver. I've already scheduled the surgery.
Yeah. This part I was like, remember when you were like, can you donate part of your liver? Like, how many
Mm-hmm.
times have you seen this? Like, how did you not know? It's here in the script.
Um, I forgot.
During an episode that I
There have
would
been a
guess you've
number of
seen a number of
rewatches where I
times.
stopped partway into season two.
Really? You don't watch the airport episode?
I haven't watched season four as many times as I've watched the other seasons
Hmm. All right.
for so many of the reasons that I've already shared.
That's fair. That's
You
fair.
know, I mean,
Yeah.
i.e., Lauren and Trevor and
Uh,
time travel. And I
yeah.
mean, I just need I go on anyway. So, um, well, okay. So
This is a rough conversation.
this is a really hard conversation. Somehow, I'm guessing his mom just doesn't know he has power of attorney.
Or doesn't know what power of attorney is.
I don't know,
Um,
right? I mean,
she
I don't
seems
know
very sweet, but there is nothing like that we have seen of her
that
that
shows she's
screams
like an effective advocate,
or
smart.
like smart. Yeah.
I mean, it could be, right? Like I don't know how she thinks decisions were getting made before when her husband was in
Doubt
or
she
ex
thought
was in
about it.
dire straits. Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
Ben reiterates that Dad didn't want that, and he says no. She's like, you don't have the right. He's like, I do actually. It's called
Yeah.
power of attorney. Um,
But also, when has Ben ever like actually followed the power of attorney? I was like, you hypocrite. He's back on a ventilator, which he said he didn't want.
yeah, Ben has a vested interest in following this particular instruction,
Mm-hmm.
And his mom's going to storm out. She's not happy about this. And Ben turns to Felicity and he's like, my dad said no. I heard him.
Hypocrite. I
Yeah. Well,
mean,
but actually,
his mom.
first, when he turns to Felicity, doesn't he say something about how he doesn't want it? And then he says, my dad said no.
Well, um, I don't remember that. What I remember is his mom saying, just talk to the doctor first before you make up your mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
And
Felicity is going to reiterate that after his mom has left the room. She's going to say, well, why don't you just hear the doctor's thoughts? And Ben's like, I don't want to go alone. She's like, I'll go with you. I'll go with you. It's fine. It's
that's what
just
I remember.
conversation.
Like he was like, I don't even know what to say. And she's
Mm-hmm.
like, it's fine, I'll come. Somehow
Yeah.
that'll tell you what to say. All right. I mean,
Yeah.
these cuts between these scenes are something else. It's like 8th Street, sporting goods, hospital, video dating. Um,
I don't know
there,
how else you're supposed to do it, to be
yeah,
honest.
it was just a little, especially because they changed the music so much between them that I was like,
That might have
okay.
been more of where the issue was coming in for you. There were only certain songs that I really noticed. Um,
Hmm.
Sometimes they do stuff where there's like a vocal song that's so low that you can't really make it out unless you're really trying to pay attention to it. But
Mine, there
um,
was like a lot of up tempo and then down tempo and then up tempo and then down tempo. I
okay,
was like, oh, okay. Well, that's underlining the seriousness or not seriousness of this scene.
yeah. Well, we're
So
gonna
let's
head
meet Bill.
to some dating videos. Yep, Bill.
Bill's creepy.
But I guess everybody's creepy.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, he's sharing his likes. Rita doesn't like Bill though,
I mean, I didn't
or
like Bill.
anybody for that matter.
I
Rita
don't think I
has
would have
been
liked anybody
selective.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah. She here in this moment is playing a very similar character to the one she plays in Monk with this uh the accent, the just the way she's using her hands, and she's very expressive, and it just brings me back to that show and how much I really like her because they in Monk they change his assistant. And so she's
Hmm.
there part of the time, and the other assistant is in different seasons. And I think, apologies to whoever the other assistant was, but I think Rita, the woman who plays Rita, is much, much better.
Okay. All right. They get a little wacky with her at moments, or with her storyline, I should say, not necessarily with her. Um,
Mm,
but here we are. So Javier has a pile of yeses, but he can't choose between them. And she's got no yeses so far. And
yeah.
so Javier comes up with the idea, let's choose each other's dates.
Yep. I like this scene. I think they have a nice chemistry together. I'm glad that I agree with you. I'm glad they brought her on.
Yeah, Javier needs somebody his age. He needs a friend. And if we're not going to see Samuel, give us somebody else, you know? They gave us
Yeah,
Rita.
great.
Is she my absolute favorite side character? No, but she's fine.
I
But
like her
her
a lot.
storylines get strange, but it's fine.
Right.
Yeah. Um,
Did she get pregnant by Javier?
no, I guess there's more just like one that I think is kind of weird, but I don't know. We'll see if I still feel that way when we get back to it. Um, we're gonna head to the loft where Noel is trying to put together this website. And it's got a lot of bells and whistles on it right now, including Sean's idea, which is a little animated snowboarder guy.
Hmm.
And Sean is feeling pretty good about this. He likes his idea. He likes the idea of this career. So does Noel.
I mean, I think Sean's getting a feeling of this could work. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the two of us have very complementary skills. Like, for example, Noel is sitting there working really hard but can't make decisions. And Sean's like, this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Noel can't drum up business. Sean can.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I like them. I hope it does work out.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it sucks for Megan because, no more Schmegan.
Okay. All right. Do, do,
Oh
do.
God.
Do, do, do. Yes.
Actually, okay, so here's what I'm gonna say about this scene. This this is the best scene with this music. This music
I
didn't bother
disagree.
me as much in this scene as any other scene that has had this music. I just
It's
wasn't as
funny
focused on it.
you say that because I don't like this scene, but I feel that way about the music in the very last scene.
And I was the opposite. I was
Aha!
like, of course. Like the
Yay!
next time the music came on, like the first time I was like, all right, I can deal with it right now. It's fine. And then the next time it came on, I was like, oh, not again.
Yeah. It is interesting that we both had in this episode a favorite moment of this music while continuing to hate the music every other time we've heard it, because we do have some feedback about this song. I will just
Ooh.
say that and it was very well timed feedback because I had just looked it up to find out that this song is called Linda's Song by Danny Pelfrey. But there's going to be more feedback about this later from our
Interesting.
audience.
All
Um,
right.
so there'll be some context to it, but just we've said what we said, audience, listeners. Okay. We
And
both
Melissa
had a moment we
knows what
liked.
your
They were the
feedback is,
exact opposite.
as always.
Yeah. Um, this to me, so this seemed like Lawrence Trilling trying to do the same thing you see every episode in a slightly different way. And I applaud him always for creativity and inventiveness. And this just didn't really work for me.
Oh, it's not
Um,
so much that I like love the scene. It's just I hated the music less than normal.
yeah.
I don't
Well,
know. I
so
think it's just because it was the first time that had shown up in a while.
yeah, the problem with this music is that every time they use it, so they go episodes without using it, and then when they use it like 3 or 4 times in an
Yeah.
episode.
Right. Which is
And
why the
it's
first time
just
I was like, all right, I can deal with it once. And then by the second time, I was like, no.
I'm going to save my further thoughts for when we actually get the comment because I think that's more
Okay.
appropriate. But yeah, I mean, here we are, another episode where they use it a few times. Um,
Mm.
so this episode is this scene is the kind of scene we've seen before. Okay, like it's two people talking, but Lawrence
Yeah.
Trilling was like, "How do I make this look different?" So what he's doing, I don't even know what the camera technique is for this, but where you're going to keep getting
Mm.
close-ups of either Ben or Felicity. They're in a hospital cafeteria, and instead of just like directly cutting from one close-up to the other as they're talking, he's like fading in and out of them,
But also overlapping the fade.
overlapping the fade.
So you're like
Yep.
seeing one face fade in as the other one fades out, and then back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Yeah, it was weird.
I guess I didn't see why that vision was put on this scene. I'm sure there are times that he could do that I think, oh, this makes a lot of sense. This was just a conversation.
Well, so for me, Ben is saying, look, I have to make a decision. Best case scenario, mom does surgery, my dad's fine. However, he could still treat her badly, you know, and he keeps asking, like, how do I know that's not going to happen? And to me, that whole conversation is also about him and Felicity. He's
Yeah.
just taken Felicity back, and he has these same questions about her.
Yeah.
And she's not going to sugarcoat it. She's going to have, her own opinion, and she's going to say it. And so for me, the fading back and forth was a little bit emblematic of like this conversation is also about the two of them coming together
Okay.
and his kind of questions about what that's going to look like. I still didn't like it,
Okay. Well,
but
but you've got logic for it, and that's great. That's more
yeah.
than I had. I don't know if I'm buying it, but I like that you have it.
I must justify things, otherwise they bother me.
Sure. I'm just
Yeah,
happy to sit in being bothered for a minute.
right.
Um, so Felicity is like, well, you don't know that it won't happen. Um, maybe you just take a leap of faith. Maybe love is risking a part of yourself,
Perhaps a quarter to a third of your liver.
some portion of your liver. Um, so Felicity is going to get up and she's, going to leave Ben to think.
Yeah, she's going to go back up and he's going to stay and think. And I was surprised that he did not, bungee cord her to the chair next to him.
Like, I know I'm handcuffing you to this table with me.
Right.
Yeah. So Felicity's going to go back up and see Ben's mom. She brings her some tea. Lets her know that
And
Ben's taking a
his
walk.
mom seems, so nice, so soft spoken. At times, I will admit, it makes me want to slap her. And I
Oh,
get that that is really unfortunate given her storyline. But
oh,
like,
okay.
I just, oh, there's something about her that I really don't like.
All
It's
right.
so, nah.
Hmm. Okay. Well, she's going to have her big moment of the episode here, and I'm
Yeah, I guess
guessing
this
it
is
didn't
what you
land for
were.
you.
Well, this is where I think you were saying that at some point, his mom has a conversation with Ben, but I'm guessing this is the one you were talking about where
Oh,
you thought there was
probably.
actual like physical abuse.
Yeah. So, the conversation here, Felicity has come up by herself, brings the mom tea, and says Ben's taking a walk. His mom says he's hiding. He wants
Felicity says
to,
he's worried.
yeah. And his mom says he wants to protect me. He always has. And then she goes into this story about Ben when he was 10.
Yeah, why would you share this at this moment in time? This is not like
Hmm.
I get why eventually she's sharing it, but this is a I guess maybe she thinks that Felicity has more influence over Ben, and so she's trying to get Felicity on her side. I don't know if this was in fact the first time they met. I don't know that this is the story you tell to get Felicity on your side, but maybe it works. Felicity
I
was
don't know. Maybe
already.
she's just reflecting. It's hard to say. I mean, even if it's the second time she's met Felicity, this is a lot of information. But also, I think at this point, she's got to figure that Ben's troubles with his dad and Ben's dad's abuse has been well documented or told to Felicity at this point. So I don't know.
Which it
Like,
hasn't. Or at least the stuff he has
yeah,
said has not really gotten through so much. But all right.
I guess there's been enough shades of it that she would be correct in assuming that Felicity doesn't just think like Ben's got this great relationship with his dad.
Yeah.
Um, there's at least that, but the story here
Hopefully
is,
she doesn't know that Ben's dad tried to stick his tongue down her throat.
yeah, ideally that hasn't come up.
Hmm.
Or maybe ideally it does. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Um, so the story is that, is about when Ben was 10. His dad threw a plate at his mom. The plate hit her. She needed stitches.
But he
Ben,
didn't mean to hit her. He
yeah,
was drunk.
yeah. She needed stitches, and Ben stayed by her side. And she said to Ben, it's okay, because she didn't want him to be scared. But she thinks he heard, it's okay. This is what love is. She says, I know it's not. Donating this piece of my liver is a different thing, but Ben can't see that because I never taught him.
Yeah, and that's where I was like, okay, she's trying to get Felicity kind of to influence Ben for her. She's like, I know that's not love. Like, if Ben is worried about us getting back together, this is just a different thing. I think she's trying to explain. I don't even want to say like justify because it's her decision. Except it's not. Uh, but I do think in telling this story, she is hoping to get through to Ben through Felicity.
Yeah, I think it's really hard for me to listen to this story without thinking this is a continuation of a cycle for his mom. Like,
Oh yeah, 100%.
I, I like there is nothing that she says here that makes me think things are going to, in fact, be different. Is his
Yeah,
dad working on himself? Sure, but in the context of working on himself, he kissed Felicity. So, like, is this all of a sudden going to be roses and rainbows? I don't think so.
I think
But
especially with what his dad says later.
yeah. So, like, every single thing these parents do in this episode would make me understand why Ben is so terrified
Yeah,
about going back to Felicity, and yet Ben goes back to Felicity, and it's sort of a really interesting, I guess, decision that he makes.
yeah, they don't give us the what I think is the important psychological, breakthrough, which is my relationship with Felicity is not the same as my mom and my dad, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that would have made it a lot better if at
Mm-hmm.
some point he had recognized and acknowledged that.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not my mom.
because it does throw some
Felicity's
shade
not my
on
dad.
Ben's relationship with Felicity when he goes back to her after seeing all of this stuff.
Well, yeah,
I
and
mean,
why I think the conversation downstairs was him still working through. All right, I've taken Felicity back. Let me talk about it in terms of my mom and dad again.
yeah, I mean, I think, if I am to believe Ben's mom, not really having a whole lot of information about her or like direct experience with her, if she were trying to convince me, if I'm in Felicity's chair and she's trying to convince me that this is in fact different, the kind of thing you might say to make that clear would be, he's going to die if I don't do this, and I'm really not interested in having that on my head.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, you can say it's different. It is different. But if the idea is, I'm doing this so that we can get back together because
Yeah.
I'm so in love, that is a very different story from I'm doing this because it's the morally right thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's weird because on the one hand, it's like you can read all of this stuff as like touching. This is
Could you?
love. But
Could
looking at it now, and we have comments. Like we have a comment
you?
that's kind of like, I
I
don't know.
mean, look, his dad certainly thinks it's love and
His
says
dad
so.
thinks it's love. His mom thinks it's love. Maybe somewhere in him, Ben thinks it's love, and he thinks that, and that's enough to convince him to go back to Felicity. Looking at it now with 40-year-old eyes, I'm like, no, this is part, it's chapter 375 in an epic saga of this relationship.
Yeah.
Where the stakes were as high as they've ever been, and they somehow surmount so that they can continue to do this to each other. I just,
Not so much each other. I don't feel like his mom, at least that I've heard of, his mom isn't really doing anything other
well,
than
she's
perhaps
enabling it.
enabling.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
enabling it. So I think there's a codependency here. There's an enablement that's happening, and she's allowing him to continue to do this to her by staying.
Yeah.
I
But she didn't throw a plate back at him.
No, she didn't throw a plate back at him, but she's basically signing off on him doing it to her.
Yep.
Is how I'm seeing this. I think, yeah, I have a grimmer outlook.
Perhaps less hopeful,
I would say bleaker.
cynical even.
I might say bleak.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know what I thought of it years ago the first time I saw it, but and I wonder what Felicity thinks.
I can't imagine I felt very different. Felicity Felicity is still saying, "Hey Ben, like talk to the doctor."
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, yeah. It's hard to know what's happening inside Felicity's head for all of this, but it would be interesting to know if we got that look in.
I
Um,
honestly think she just wants to support Ben.
yeah, and she's
I,
maybe
I
not layering into it all of this parallels my relationship with him.
no, I don't think she's putting that on it. I also don't, because then she'd have to be his dad.
Yeah.
And also she doesn't really understand it still. And again, she's still in this pattern of like, I need to support Ben.
Yeah.
Which now I think is fine. He's going through something very hard and he does know the truth. So it's like, you know what? Go ahead, be supportive.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think she is in any way, well, like I don't think she's gonna come out and like say anything that's gonna make him that she thinks is gonna make him feel worse.
Yeah.
I think she's just gonna try to be there, and her own opinion does come out, I think, in saying things like, well, at least hear what the doctor has to say.
Yeah.
That's not where Ben was going with this.
Yeah.
So she does have thoughts about it.
Yeah. And I think that her opinion kind of was coming out a little bit in the cafeteria as well.
Mhm.
Taking the leap of faith, maybe love is giving a part of yourself that skews in a certain direction, I think. So I don't
Yeah.
know. And that's before this conversation with the mom even happened. But I mean, I'll say your read of her as like staying supportive of Ben, buckle up because that's going to be her for a while. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So Eric, we're going to go to Eric at 8th Street Sporting Goods or whatever that store is, and he's interested in this mock website, which is basically an entire website, except he doesn't love the snowboarder guy, and Sean's going to take personal offense to that.
Yeah. I mean, snowboarder, he thinks snowboarder is lame.
Yeah, Sean's like it's the opposite of lame.
It's cool.
Yeah. And Noel's like, yeah, but we're gonna trust your expertise. Sean's like, no,
This is what you're paying
no.
us for.
Except you're not even paying us, so you don't even get the
Correct.
website. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like,
Sean's ready to walk. He's like,
yeah.
we don't need you and your money.
Sean does walk.
Yeah.
And Noel and Sean are gonna fight about that.
Yeah.
They're gonna do another walk and talk with a lot of energy.
Mhm. I mean, Noel's
um,
mad, and I understand why he's mad.
yeah.
He's like, you just lost us a potential client that you
Mm-hmm.
brought in. I get it, but still, dude.
Like literally all we had to do was remove the snowboarder guy.
Yeah.
It's like this guy didn't like your idea, you took it personally. Sean's like, yeah, but I'm gonna bring another business. And Noel's like, well, what do you got? Sean's like, nothing right now. He's like, oh,
I just love Sean here. He's like, I'm your partner. I give you the freedom to say no to guys like that who don't go with our vision of snowboarders who aren't lame on their website.
yeah.
Oh, Sean.
Yeah. Look, sometimes when you're a contractor, the client likes or doesn't like something and you don't agree with it. And you know what? You do it. You say, that's against my better advisement, but you do it
Yeah.
because it's their product.
And
Um,
sometimes you just work for people and you don't agree with them. And then you put it in an official email and say, this is against my advisement, but it's your choice. And then when they make the choice, that's their choice.
their choice.
They're the supervisor. They're the
Sure,
boss.
sure
Like, you
thing.
know what? It's on them. But always, I'm going to say this from my perspective, always have a written record of what your advice was and that you gave it to them. A
Well, when you have a
written
business and you're a
record.
contractor in this position, you don't necessarily need the written record as much as like you just don't put it in your portfolio. I mean,
Well, there's that,
have
but
it in the
also
written
word of
record.
mouth and stuff is,
Yeah,
I
that's
like to have
true.
things in writing.
Sure, but I can't think of a single time I've ever like actually word of mouth came to me. I was like, oh, but from this person, I just wouldn't pursue if it seemed like you just gauge the personality of the person that you're thinking about working with and see if you think that would be a good fit. But
Well,
you
it
could
depends
just
on,
not say yes to the word of mouth client that you get.
correct, but it
Like if
also
it's
depends on the size of your market and how closely knit that community is. So
it does, but it doesn't. I think
it
you like
does,
in your
especially if
own
you're in a very
business.
well, like if everybody knows everybody and they're all at the same conferences every freaking year.
I think no, it's so easy when you have your own business. You could just say, I'm sorry, I don't have the bandwidth. Like too busy.
Sure,
Like that's
but
really,
then
really easy to do.
no, but I'm saying if you have a written record of like, you know, someone's really unhappy with your work product, it can get around really quickly in a
But
smaller.
this is the scenario where they're happy with work product you're not happy with.
Oh, yeah. If they're happy, go for it.
Yeah. If they're not happy, you fix it until they are.
Or
Or you give
if
them a
or if
refund.
they're happy and then it blows up in their face and they blame you, that's more what I'm worried about.
I don't think I've ever heard of that happening for like, and I'm thinking of like
Mm.
graphic designers and web designers and like I think it's usually people are like so committed to a thing that I haven't heard of that blowing up in people's faces. Because usually the contractor will be like, but it's terrible though. You sure? Like, I recommend this, but are you sure? And they'll be like,
Like,
and like
this font
just to
looks
make it
great.
really clear, like these are the consequences of going with option A. You
Yeah.
want option A though? And they're like, yeah, totally want option A. You're like, all right.
Yeah.
And then you just back down and don't put the thing in your portfolio.
And get paid.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Very
I've
nice.
also found that a lot of the time, other people, like usually those clients have a reputation of their own. Like
Yeah,
depending
it
on
can
what
be
the thing
tricky.
is, like if somebody's just like really particular, like it turns out you're just like the thousandth person to realize that this person is very particular.
Mm.
Um, but it's fine. Speaking of being particular,
Yeah.
let's go to the bar.
Bar and maybe dinner place and phone conversation. I like the back and forth here. We've
Mm.
got Javier's on his date, and we will splice this with Rita being on her date, and then the two of them talking.
Yeah, Javier's going to meet his date, Paul, who's sitting at the bar on a bar stool.
Yes.
Javier's gonna, greet him, and then they're gonna go get some food. So Paul has to hop down from the bar stool, and it turns out he's very short.
Yes. And I wrote little person or short, which will come up again later.
Hmm.
Rita,
Um,
however, seems to be having a great time on her date. She is sitting across from a handsome man who she's got some stuff in common with, and they're
Coney
having
Island related
dinner.
stuff. Yeah.
Coney Island brings people together. It's for love.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets real pumped that they've got a lot of stuff in common.
And he's gonna high five her at the table and give her a woo.
Right. Which point she is not having as much fun. And it's
Yeah.
like, excuse me, I must exit for a moment.
Yeah, she's fully embarrassed. So we're gonna now get Rita and Javier having a call with each other. Javier's already at home.
And what are we missing? We are missing the telephone booth
That's
in the
true.
restaurant. We have moved on to the age of cell phones.
Ah, well, there you have it.
Look at
Excellent.
that.
But if it were Felicity at this restaurant, she would have found a
She
phone
would have
booth.
found that
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
100%.
She would have crossed town to
Yeah.
find a phone booth and then come back or
Hmm.
leave, either one.
She may have crawled out the window of the bathroom. Yes.
Yeah.
But Javier's going to call Rita, and he's got a question. And his question is, what is the cutoff for someone to be a little person? Which is exactly what I was wondering.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have
Okay.
time to look it up.
That's
I
fair.
don't know if it's like for someone to have dwarvism, it's like a genetic
It's a
thing.
different thing.
Yeah.
There's more than one thing at play when somebody is super short. I have
Yeah. So
actually
I don't
dwarves in
know
my
if,
family.
yeah. So I don't know if there is a cutoff for a little person or if it is in fact genetically linked.
I don't know.
Hmm.
Can't say I've looked that
Now
up.
we're going to have a little research project.
Yeah,
Becca Zip, we need you.
I'm telling you. Yeah, so this conversation is basically, clearly neither of them are happy with their dates. Javier's already at home. He already left the mission. And Rita's debating whether she's thinking about leaving. And so Rita's going to invite Javier to go to her place, meaning she would leave the date. But they both don't want to be alone, but this is a way for them not to be alone, to be with each other.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice little
Yeah.
friendship moment of both of them just deciding Javier to be what's a nice way to say shallow? I
Yeah.
guess. All right.
I mean,
Sure.
what are you gonna do? He's not attracted to the guy. He's not attracted to the guy.
I guess.
I mean, so we're gonna go to the hospital, and Ben. is going to come back from his walk. And it seems like he's had a change of heart. He asks his mom for sure, do you want to donate part of your liver? She says, yes. Ben says, let's do it.
He is so bad at executing the power of attorney.
Yeah.
He's so bad at this.
Yeah. It's not
Just
good.
like everything, every single last thing his father has asked for in every way to be represented, Ben has done the exact opposite.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, you know, just boys being boys. All right. So A Street Graphics. And this is, I think, probably the most appropriate cut to go from that when what you just said to this of, Noel is back at the business that Sean has decided not to take.
Yeah.
And he's come back. He made the changes the business owner wanted. He shows the website to Eric again. He's like, do we have the job?
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna take a pretty firm stance because Eric is trying to discourage him from working with Sean, from partnering with Sean. And he's like, you're good at this, and this other guy sucks. Like, he's a rock on your back. He tells a whole story about a swimmer with a rock on his back who drowned because he can't swim with a rock on his back.
Not a 100-pound rock.
Yeah. So he's like, you've got a rock on your back, okay? And
his name's Sean.
Like, yeah. I was like, be that as it may, I'm not doing it without Sean.
Like, you hire me, you hire us both.
Yeah.
And I think Eric, look, again, he is the client. He's like, fine, but I'm only talking to you. I don't want to deal with this other guy. And Noel's like, perfect.
And I do think, like, exactly as much as I think this is a good arrangement for most people involved here. I think that, for Eric, it's like, well, I appreciate your loyalty. Like, I think he respects Noel for taking that stance. He also makes it clear he's not going to work with Sean, so he won't have to deal with Sean himself. Mm-hmm. Noel's going to take it on himself, and now he's going to have to explain this all to Sean. And it's not going to be the only time in this partnership that has to happen.
Huh. See, I assumed that he just wasn't going to tell Sean, and then Sean caught him. But okay.
Yeah. Well, I think he's not trying to hide it from Sean. He leaves some very obvious breadcrumbs. So I don't know. All right. So
he comes out and says it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're at the hospital waiting room.
We are. And I love that Felicity has decided that the best way to distract Ben is to use what I assume is the New York Times crossword puzzle.
Mm-hmm. And
he's got no idea.
They go through one clue and Ben has no idea. They go through a second clue and I'm trying to figure out. So 12 letters, really bad TV show. Was that Dawson's Creek?
Because I was like, soap opera? Are they being self-referential? Nope, that's not enough. Interesting. So you thought there was some rivalry.
Was there, or were they on different networks or the same network? And does that matter for this?
CW. Show? They were on this. Dawson's Creek was on the CW, and so was Felicity.
So would they be
probably
dissing their own?
Wouldn't. No.
That's what I thought the problem was there. But I was like, the first thing that came to my mind was Dawson's Creek. So clearly they were trying to diss a different show, and this is their creative way of doing it. What that show was, listeners, you're on the case. You're always on the case. We love you so much. What's the answer to 12 letters, really bad TV show at this point?
Isn't Dawson's Creek 13 letters?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Nope, 12. You're right.
That was exciting podcasting.
Wasn't it? Right.
But nonetheless, we're still really unsure if they would diss a show on their own network. So unless it changed, it was on the WB. And then I guess it changed.
CW. They had pictures together. So, I think their runs were, at least for the whole run of Felicity, I think, they were on the same network. I don't know if Dawson's Creek then went somewhere else.
All right. Well, guys, we need to know, like, what show are they trying to talk smack about? That's not the right expression. I
There it
couldn't
is.
decide which it
There it
is.
is.
Okay,
That absolutely.
yay! I'm hip. All right. um, okay, so we're distracted by the distraction, but the
Uh-huh.
point of this scene is that the doctor is going to talk to Ben. Point
Well,
of this.
but the doctor comes over and says, can I talk to you for a minute? At which point I was like, uh-oh.
Oh, the doctor got
Right.
in on it. Well, yeah, the doctor's pulling Ben aside. We don't hear the conversation, but Ben comes back and tells us just simply, Mom's not doing well.
Yeah, we hear a little bit of the conversation. The doctor says something like, the good news is your dad's going to be fine. Um, and we just see Felicity watching again through another pane of glass.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, Ben is gonna come back and say his mom is bleeding, it's not stopping, that's not good, and we're just gonna leave them like that and move on.
Yeah. We'll move on to Noel and Sean again. Sean has found another possible client for him to ruin. Um, Sean is going to, he was it a florist shop?
He said plant
A
store,
plant
which
store?
I mean, sure.
I guess there's a difference there. So he goes into a plant store. They need some serious work with their brand, and so he wants to pitch to them. But he interrupts while Noel's working on the sporting goods site, and he's like, "What you working on there?"
And
Noel's like,
Noel is truthful.
mm-hmm.
Like, I'm working on the sports job.
Yeah. He's like, Sean's like, for fun. Noel's like, no, for
Or
business.
money.
And now Sean's upset because Noel went behind his back. He hurt his pride. He feels betrayed. It's
He's
like, this is
embarrassed.
embarrassing
So
for me.
embarrassing.
Noel's
And
like,
Noel's like, embarrassing? You want embarrassing? I'm a guidance counselor at the school I just graduated from. I'm literally helping other students get better jobs than me.
mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
tried to leave and then was only able to have 1 day of work before I tried to screw the boss's daughter. No, wait, he didn't get that far into the story.
yeah.
But they're gonna fight.
But he's going to say, I want to move ahead with my life. I want to be a success. Sean's like, and I don't. Noel's like, it really doesn't seem like you do. Ooh,
Yeah.
tough love. My
And
God.
Sean's pretty pouty this whole like first part of the okay, for most of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, well, I guess you were right. Friendship can't survive business.
And he storms out.
Yes, he does. Go ahead,
Yeah.
do it.
Do, 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 do,
Because
do,
I
do.
was just like, oh my God,
So, I mean, this music
not
comes up a few
again.
times. Each of us have claimed one existence of it. That's our favorite sample. This is not it.
I don't like the word favorite here. I would go with least hated.
Okay, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
I'll co-sign that. So, okay, we're back in the hospital. Felicity brings Ben a drink. She lets him know Sean and Trevor are in the lobby. Um,
Thankfully, they don't need to come up.
yeah. So Ben's just sitting and thinking about the news about his mom. He's like, it's really not fair. Um,
Correct.
and he's
When has life ever been fair?
yeah, and then he asks what Felicity and his mom talked about.
Yeah. And Felicity doesn't go into the whole story.
No.
She's just like, oh, talking about you when you were a kid and just saying, you want to protect her.
And he's
Ben
like,
is,
yeah, some good I did here.
yeah, Ben's clearly blaming himself.
Yeah, he's not. This is on his head, really, because
It
he
was his
defied
decision.
power of attorney.
Well, I mean,
Um,
it was also his mom's decision.
yeah, yeah, but I see why he's blaming himself. I can understand.
Yeah.
Um, we can understand that instinct to think that
Yes.
way. So she reassures him. She says, "You did everything you could do." She loves him.
Yeah.
That's that.
Yeah. I mean, they use love a lot in not great ways in this episode.
Yeah.
I think I was starting to hate the word love.
Yeah.
Mm.
But
And
she's gonna let him be, and she's gonna go tell Trevor and Sean to leave, and then Ben.
oh my goodness, so desperate.
You're gonna come back, right?
I know.
Cling, cling, cling.
Like
She's like,
literally grabs her and is like, "Wait, you're coming back?" She's like, "Of course I'm coming back.
yeah. Ah,
I'm
that was
here to
sad.
support you. That is 100% my role and has been since the first, like, after the first, like, 10 seconds of, the episode where I woke up."
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll continue to so anyway. Yep. That is
Mhm.
actually how that goes. It was so I don't know, heartbreaking to see him like that.
Yeah.
Um, he's just like a
But
little
it's
boy.
okay. It's okay. We're not going to have to stay in that space for long.
Yeah, because we're going to cut to Felicity sitting on a hospital bed. Ben's probably the dad's hospital bed. Um, Ben comes in and he's happy.
Hmm.
Mom's okay.
They're both going to be fine,
Yep.
or alive at least.
Yeah, and they hug. And
But it
then
was
he
a
wants to
little
do everything
weird.
again.
Yes, but it was a little weird seeing Felicity. She's sitting on an empty hospital bed, sort of a little bit in the dark, but she's reading. And I'm looking at this empty hospital bed, and I'm like, who died? What a weird intro. I mean, you're in a hospital. You don't just get to go in a room. That's not a thing. Like you can sit on the floor outside or go to the waiting room or go to the cafeteria. You don't just get to like occupy a hospital room. That is not a thing.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. It bugged me because not only that, but then I was also like, who used to be in that bed? Like I was like, did his dad die? Like what
I
is
was
happening? Oh,
assuming
you
it
know
was
what?
his dad's bed.
That actually makes sense. So she probably could be in there. All right, I
Oh,
feel better about
rant
this.
averted.
Yes. Good
Ha,
job.
like that. Um, Ben's happy now. He just wants to do everything again. They want to go get to maybe get some Chinese food,
Hmm.
go to the dance. They want to do everything.
Yep. And hug. They want to hug.
Yay! We're going to go back to the loft where Megan is trying to help Sean put on a tie, but it's not really working.
He needs a bow tie. They're tricky. And he refuses to use the clip-ons.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not what real men do. And
Yeah,
he's acting like a real man right now.
for sure.
Hmm.
Yep, because his pride is, he needs to restore it through this bow tie. So Nola's going to come in. Megan's like, "You're helping Sean with this."
Yeah.
Sean's like,
I
"No, he's
mean,
not."
it's a little rough because he walks in and Megan's like, "Noel, do you know how to tie a bow tie?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "All right, you deal with this baby."
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
That
they're
was a great way to
just
set the
standing in
scene.
front of each other awkwardly because now this guy who just betrayed me has to help me, and I feel like such a fool, thanks Sean. But anyway, so Noel breaks the ice by saying, "Sign these forms." Sean looks at them, they're bank forms for a joint business. And it has money in the account.
That's right. It's not just asking for a cosign because Sean is an adult and knows how to tie his own tie. No, this is for real. And then I love this fight because it's like they're fighting, but they're adorable and they're friends and they're fighting about how they're going to be friends and
Yeah.
business partners. I enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
Sean's like, "I don't want to steal a ride off of you." Noel's like, "You're not stealing a ride. You're good at sales." it's just like the weirdest energy.
Yeah.
And then Noel's like, but if
Just,
we're gonna have a business,
yeah.
we're gonna have rules, okay?
Need ground rules. And
Yeah.
Sean's like, what? We have rules now?
Yeah. And then Noel's like, friendship comes first.
And he's like tying the bow tie.
Sean's like, well, that's not cutthroat.
Yeah. And then Noel's like, are you going to sign these forms? Sean's like, yes. And you should come to the dance.
It's
Noel's like, I
so
don't want to go
weird.
to a dance. I don't even go to the school. Sean's like, what? And I do?
I feel like I understand that Sean's love language is fighting with humans. Like that
Yes.
this is how he got together with Megan. They're
Uh-huh.
married now. Like
Correct.
this is it. I don't know
And
why Noel wants this.
Noel is now part of this because
Yeah.
Sean clearly says, I want to go to the dance with both of my partners.
And he signs the papers. And this is it. Noel backing out now. Noel.
I know. You did this to yourself.
Yeah, you're going to need to somehow get Sean registered on the business, but that's a whole separate issue. And we just don't have time for that in this episode. That's fine. Or ever for that matter.
Mm-mm.
All right, we're going to go back to the hospital. Ben is with his dad. His dad wakes up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little joke about how Ben and his mom pulled another fast one on his dad, which everybody, finds so funny, except it's
Really not a joke.
yeah,
Not a time to joke. You once again
violated power of
poorly
attorney.
represented your
Yeah,
father.
yeah, but
He put his trust in you. But then
eh,
again, you know what? He's not a great dad, so or husband, whatever.
at this point, he needs to communicate to Ben the opposite of his wishes in all cases, and then he'll get what he wants.
I'm gonna have something to say about that later.
Prove me wrong. Okay. All right. All right. So Ben's like, I wanted to update you. I talked to Felicity. I just hope
Well, he's like, I did listen to you.
about
You
one
know,
thing.
I did one thing you said.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't related to your medical care whatsoever.
Nope.
But
Because your
yes,
advice about love.
yeah,
um,
yes, that's what I took.
yeah, he's like, I hope we don't keep hurting each other. And his dad, Fish, do
Ugh,
you want to share this? I have a
oh my
feeling you have
God.
strong, yeah.
Oh my God. Um, yeah. So Ben, you know how when Ben says stuff to his dad, and then his dad, Ben is hoping to be reassured that his mother will be all right and that it's okay that they get together, and then his dad just constantly says the wrong thing, the exact opposite, the non-reassuring version.
Yeah.
Um, so, Ben's like, I hope Felicity and I won't keep hurting each other,
Mm-hmm.
harkening back to his downstairs cafeteria talk. And his dad's like, you will. That's what life is. Yes, life is just hurting one another.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're in love, as you continually hurt each other and throw plates at each other and, need to get stitches, eventually you will be tested and you will pass those tests because of your love for each other.
Ben's
And
like you and
yeah,
mom?
uh-huh.
Like me and mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
See, this is the part where I was like, remember how you and Felicity are separate entities from your parents and aren't in the same relationship?
Mm-hmm.
This is not helping. Nothing about this makes me feel like Ben has been reassured either about his mother or about his own relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This whoever is writing for his dad is either doing a terrible job or an amazing job, depending on what we're supposed to feel about him.
Uh, I think that I think the writers on this were not very well versed in toxicity in relationships or abusive relationships and maybe didn't realize um how double-edged everything they said was. I
Double?
think that they were aiming for a feel good result
Wow.
is what I think
So
was
bad
happening.
writing.
But I think that they didn't realize that this would then be seen as like,
I just
no,
wish you'd finish the sentence there. They didn't realize it would be seen.
they didn't realize it would be seen as a continuation of a cycle of feel good and then horrible, feel good and then horrible moment. So it's
In
like,
life. I mean, what's so meta about this, right? Is they're
yeah,
trying to write something that is feel good, and what they're actually doing is writing what life is by saying that's what life is. I mean, this
yeah,
happens.
yeah, yeah. I think all of this is correct, and I think they landed on the wrong outcome.
Or
Does that
did
make
they?
sense?
I mean, they landed on the wrong outcome if what they wanted to tell was a love conquers all story. If what they wanted to tell was here's what real life looks like sometimes and it sucks a big one, they hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, and I think the context of Ben choosing Felicity in this episode
Hmm.
makes it unclear what he's choosing because when he smiles at his parents getting excited about the liver and hugging and celebrating over it, you know, when he feels like there's this reunion happening and he chooses Felicity, is he choosing toxic relationships? Does he think he's choosing that? Does he know he's choosing that? Or does he think he's choosing love conquers all? So that it's a little less clear to me. It's not definitive to me what Ben is doing
Yeah.
with going back to Felicity. And I don't know if it was supposed to be. Um, but I do think that they're trying. I think that they're trying to give us what they think is feel good. And I feel now, with the eyes I'm looking through it now with, I don't feel good about it with the
No.
parents. And so to then get Felicity and Ben back together in this episode throws shade on their relationship that I'm not sure they meant it to be so shady. I think they
Hmm.
meant it to be love conquers all. Um, it's just not what I'm getting from
Okay.
it.
No.
I mean, do you see it differently, or do you think that they were not
No.
aiming for love conquers all?
I have no idea because I feel like whenever I saw this in the past, I can't imagine having a different reaction than I do now. Like
Mm-hmm.
this in no way, shape, or form screams love conquers all. The difference for me when I was younger probably is that I completely separated the Ben Felicity relationship from his mom and dad's relationship, like almost unconsciously. Like I just wouldn't connect them, even though
Mm-hmm.
he clearly does, even though Ben clearly does. Like I probably just didn't catch on to that and was like, well, this is a completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see the like, yay, pretty people, like, making out, ooh, and then I could see the other part and be like, ooh, you guys suck. Um,
Yeah.
but didn't see the complexity of sort of Ben's view and decisions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I don't know what we take away from this, to be honest. I
I
think this
think
is
we
a
take,
confusing
yeah, I think
episode
what we
for
have to
us.
take away is that the direction really is what they want is groups of pretty people dancing in slow motion.
Yeah, we're gonna
So,
go to the dance, the school
yeah,
ball, and Ben's gonna go up to Noel
Noel looks
and
good in this suit.
uh
I'm just saying.
um Noel, you know, Noel's gonna congratulate Ben on, you know, his parents both being okay. He's gonna say I'm sorry. He's gonna blanketly say I'm sorry for all the stuff. And Ben is just like, you know what? I'm just trying to forget it, man.
And they had some really nice music up to this point.
Uh-huh. Um, and you know, I guess Noel really does feel like he's just kind of let it all go at this point. You know, I don't feel
Yeah,
like he's
he's
particularly
lost.
invested in this thing with Ben. I think
Yeah.
he's just being a normal guy, and there's not like
He's trying to
tension
squash the beef so that he can stay
in
in
the apartment.
the
Yeah.
apartment. Yeah.
Felicity is going to come up, and
she is in an amazing dress. It is
mhm.
fantastic. It is sort of a cream, like a shiny cream color, kind of architectural, spaghetti straps low in the back. It's like this is one of her nice dresses.
Architectural. Whew. Yeah, so she's gonna come up and we're gonna get a little bit of piano music going and do 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 do.
Hmm.
Noel is gonna leave. She's gonna wonder what Ben and Noel were talking about. He's like, yeah, it was fine, don't worry about it. She's like, okie doke, come dance with me.
This was so horrible.
It's so funny because this was actually, so the piano music runs from here to the end, and over the dancing I was about it, but over the walking part I loved it. Not loved,
Nice.
not loved. Loved is not the right word.
You
I
least hated it.
least hated it. But it is weird that it went
The
over the whole
dancing. Yeah.
thing.
The dancing was
um
weird. And it was weird that it started mid-scene because
hmm.
Noel and Ben are talking and there's different music. And then, of course, Felicity walks up and the freaking music starts and then
Yeah,
just doesn't stop.
I guess, if I do just take it at face value that they've grouped this dancing, slow-mo dancing part and the walking and talking part with everybody together, I guess the feeling it gave me was like sort of snow globy magical sort of moment.
No, I didn't
And
like
I'm
it.
happy to think of it in that context. It works better for me than a lot of the other context than all of the other contexts they've given me. They are doing, I mean, granted, like the dance movements are no way
Right.
synced up with this, but that's
Exactly.
just part of the
Obvious
mystical, magical nature.
they're obviously dancing to like upbeat music. And they have
Yeah.
nice moves and but this.
They weren't trying to. I mean, they put their dance moves in slow mo, and then they put
Yeah.
this. It was meant to be sort of a, I don't know, ethereal sort of feel. And then they're going to go to this part where they're all after the dance. They're all
Yeah.
walking together on the snowy sidewalk, and it was a bunch of
They're
them. It was
happy.
everybody.
It was everybody. They're happy, they're laughing, they're making jokes, they want fries.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
Felicity is going to ponder, guys, what's going to happen to us? Where are we going to be this time next year? This is like the end. And Javier's like, yeah, where are we going to be? And then they all laugh, and they're laughing as the episode cuts, and you can hear a real Carrie Russell laugh, or like cackle that's so weird coming out of her mouth, but so endearing. Um, and and this gives me my note from an optimist. Because
Oh.
just that moment of seeing them walking together reminded me of every time I did that with friends in college. Like,
Oh.
and I will say a lot of those moments were freshman year. But a lot of times I was not staying out as late as people because I wasn't
Yes.
drinking and didn't want to be around them when they were really drunk. So in some hangout situations, I didn't have the opportunity to do this while people were sober enough. But I do remember these moments where we would be walking together to go somewhere, and I just so loved those moments. And like one that comes to mind is a bunch of us went to see a thing called Waterfire,
Hmm.
which was a thing that happened
Happened
weekly.
twice a year.
Was it twice a year?
Yeah, it was in the fall and then it was towards summer.
And I remember the fall. So when it happened in the fall, it was like pretty soon after school had started. It was freshman year. And a whole bunch of us went to Waterfire. Then we all probably got something to eat. And then we walked back. And I just remember us all walking back and being like, so it's fire and water. And we were just laughing about it. But it was just this very like basically sober moment with everybody just really enjoying the walk together. But I remember a lot of fun walks, like even walking to like if we had to, if a bunch of us had to like walk across campus to get to classes, we would play like frisbee golf on the way there or something. Um,
Hmm,
I don't know. There was just a lot of these really nice walk and talk moments, and this isn't something we've gotten a lot of with this
that's true.
group. I feel like we did get this when they were looking for Noel when he was with Natalie,
Hmm.
but I
It
can't
was more
really.
panicked.
It was panicked.
It was less
It was not
less happy
nostalgic.
laughing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if they've ever had a moment like this on the show where they just sort of gave us everybody just being being friends.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's, the the club shut down or whatever, and you're walking home and you're just like laughing and perhaps a bit tipsy and
Mhm.
falling, tripping over things. And, you physically have to hold each other up as a group. And I understand why Melissa didn't want to be there. Um, it made
It
complete
wasn't
sense.
always that drunk, but when it was that drunk, it was not a good memory for me.
Yeah, no. But this for me is like a 3 a.m., like 2 or 3 a.m. kind of moment where it's like, oh, okay, well, this place closed. Oh, but like the fries place is open and like let's soak up some of that alcohol. And the other thing is we had a lot of hills around us. And so by that point in the evening, like after you'd been dancing and stuff like that, and then a lot of the time I remember um, like, so you'd be out with a big group, and there'd be a couple of us who were like trying to make it up the hills in heels. And
Hmm.
then we just, especially freshman year, me and one of the girls on my floor kind of bonded because we were both trying to make it up this hill in these heels after, I don't know, like 6 hours. And both of us, I don't know, maybe a quarter of the way up the hill, were just like, nope. We both took our shoes off and
Hmm.
just kept walking.
Yeah,
Um,
makes sense.
yeah. This
Yep.
this this is the end of the night kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you have it. It's a note from an optimist, but fish.
Hmm.
Let's follow that immediately by finding out who the worst is.
Yeah,
Do you
there's
have
nothing
anybody for
better.
do you have anybody for this one?
I do.
Okay.
But yeah, nothing better than a happy moment followed by let's just
Terrible
bring
one.
everything down.
Yeah. Well, let's do the you're the worst segment.
All right. Benjamin,
Oh.
you are not the worst.
Oh.
Okay. You are the worst person to have your dad's power of attorney. No painkillers. Ignored that one. No ventilator. Ignored that one. DNR. Ignored that one. Uh, don't take part of your mom's liver. Ignored that one. Yeah, you just kind of like ignored all of them. Like all of these strong wishes your father had about like I want to be sober and I don't want to like keep living if, it's going to be on a ventilator and I want your mom to be safe. But here's my question. Like you've done this many, many times now, and your dad keeps you on as his power of attorney. Why? I mean, Lauren's still there. She was a good pick from the start, you know? I'm starting to wonder, does he really want these things? Or does he want you to buckle? Is he just too weak to say yes to your mom having surgery? Does he want to seem selfless and strong? Uh, did he really want the painkillers and was too afraid, of death himself? I mean, I don't know. But the more that I look at it, the more that interpretation seems true. Plus, he did just come out and say he would keep hurting your mom because that's life and love. So, surprise, Andrew, Ben's dad. You're the worst.
Ah.
Thought I'd go for a surprise there at the end.
Wow. Well, I mean, Andrew Cummington, you're the worst.
Again.
I'm going to immediately confuse the issue
All
because I've
right.
been sitting here seeing where this was headed, and I was been debating whether to bring a couple of pieces of feedback on John Ritter from the audience in or not. I'm going to bring one of them. Fish, let's do our favorite segment. Let's do it.
Let's absolutely do it. I'm super excited to be completely contradicted
Well,
by Melissa's choice of the first thing to share. But you know what? Doesn't matter.
I don't know
Let
for
it-
sure that it'll ever be more
Yay!
appropriate is the thing. Like, after you listen to this tape, you have to erase it where we hear from you, our listeners. Okay.
Ooh.
So I know that there's a little bit more John Ritter coming up, and I don't know. Like, it's a little too hedging of the bets
Won't
to
this
assume that we're
guy
ever going to feel.
die?
Yeah, well, like, am I going to sit here and say you're ever going to love him? I don't know. There's probably going to
You
be
do
double speaky
know.
things in every single
You
episode.
know.
Yeah. So I'm just going to bring this up here, and then I'll bring up the other one and another one. Is what I'm doing. I'm just going to split the difference. At Colleen.Tenbus says about John Ritter, but really about the character. She says, I didn't want to root for him, the character, but there are some moments, I think they're in season 4, where I couldn't help but be moved by his performance.
Oh, okay. That's fair. I think he does a great job. Again, I don't know what the direction was. I have a certain interpretation. And for my interpretation, I think he acts it fantastically.
Yeah, I think he acts it with a lot of dimension.
Mm-hmm.
I think the writing I'm not sure what I'm supposed to take from it. I know what I'm taking from it. I just don't know what I was supposed to take from it.
Yes.
But yeah, I agree. I think John Ritter, R.I.P. John Ritter.
Yeah.
This was a really nice portrayal. And I think it's interesting to see that as conflicted as we are about it, here's Ben getting closer to his dad. He's obviously been craving this. We're seeing it with Hodges, paralleled with these things that are happening with his dad. And
Plus, he has no friends.
yeah, so it's like, be careful what you wish for. I feel nervous for Ben about everything that he's witnessing here, but also, it's a boy getting a chance to be with his dad and having it not be so terrible on the surface. So it's like, all right, I like that there's dimension to it.
Mm-hmm. I'll agree with that. Absolutely.
Let's do some, Mary Berrigan. Mary Berrigan.
Haven't heard from her in so long.
Mary Berrigan. Oh my goodness. I'm going to break up this comment. It's a lengthy comment in 2 sections. So just guys, buckle up and get ready for greatness.
Awesome. I am so ready.
So first of all, Mary Berrigan says, here is an email from the composer of the music that drives you nuts. Apparently, it started as music he wrote for his wife, then became Ruby's theme, then Ben and Felicity's theme. She links an email. She says, apparently, my superpower is discovering random information about silly instrumental music from over 20 years ago. Mary Berrigan, you have a lot of superpowers, okay?
That's right.
This is one of them. Okay, so here's a little snippet of the email. So it was a response to somebody, like a fan who wrote in to Danny Pelfrey, who wrote the theme. And so I'm taking a couple paragraphs from the middle. Danny says, thank you so much for your help in letting fans know about this piece. I too have gotten many emails about it, and I guess they came through your site. I would also like to give my thanks to Brad Gardner, who you indicate discovered the clip at my site. There is no way to describe how much it means to a composer to have his or her work noticed and appreciated by people, and I have to thank you for this. You are correct about the origin of this piece. I was calling it Ruby's theme, and it was originally used in the episode where Ruby found out she was pregnant, and they had to decide what to do. It also surfaced again a few episodes later. Here, Ruby had decided to leave and go have her baby. The theme played this time under Ruby and Noel talking on a bench, and at the end, she walks away. Here it was played on an acoustic guitar. Also very effective. Since this piece has been noticed, you may find it interesting to know that it had its true beginning about 12 years ago as something I wrote for my wife, Linda, and we always called it Linda's song. There's actually even more to the music than I had time for on the show. It's an honor to have it become Ben and Felicity's theme. Danny, we apologize because we have panned it quite a lot, but that's fine.
Look, it's not necessarily that the song itself is bad. It is the repeated use of a very short clip over many, 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 many episodes for different reasons with different instruments, and also it got annoying. That's not your fault. If we listened to it just once, we might have loved it. But we didn't. We've listened to it 100 million billion times, and now it's in my brain forever.
Well, and a couple things. First of all, I'm not sure when this was written, but it's also been used under Megan.
Oh.
So I don't think the show knew what they were doing with this. I think that when they used it, they overused it. Like they used it 3 or 4 times in an episode. They've used it as a theme for at least 3 different sets of characters. And I will say that I think the first usage was a little too... I just remembered Ruby and Noel sitting on a couch going, "Be blue, think of blue things, suede shoes, blueberries, the sky." It was like this really a moment that ended up feeling cheesy, partly because of the dialogue.
Yeah.
And that patina then was on this song because they used it a few times in that episode and they kept doing it the same way. So but darn it, it's a lovely song for your wife.
I'm sure she loved it. And
Yeah.
It seems like you got a lot of lovely comments, and you're never going to hear this podcast. But I stand firm in the fact that when I hear this music, I want to rip my ears off my head. And that's not your fault.
No. And
I am personally, so I'm going to apologize to you on behalf of the people who mangled your song.
Yeah, they needed to be a little bit more sparing with it or consistent with it.
One of the two.
Yeah, like both. Like
Preferably both.
Use it under particular moments with Ben and Felicity, maybe. And not 3 times in an episode. And then it accents it. Instead, it makes it seem like, oh, you didn't have music budget, so you used this song that you already had. I wonder what the agreement was on this. If they just got rights and used it as many times as they could, or
it sounds like they just bought the song.
Yeah, it sounds like they just kept using it. Danny, if you only knew how many times.
Gosh. If you haven't made a lot of money off of this song, then they've screwed you twice.
Yeah. Gosh. Well, Mary has more to say, and I just wanted to and there's a promise of even more. But Mary, we're going to hold you to that, okay?
Awesome.
So, okay. Mary says, I have an entire treatise I'm composing about the end of senior year. I fear I will be standing alone on this, but in this rewatch, I'm seeing very off the actions of the characters we have come to know the previous seasons until the last few episodes. Ben suddenly wants to be a doctor. Don't buy it. Felicity
Not alone there.
Felicity is directionless and lost. Nope. This is a girl who thrives in school. It's the one place where she can shine. Being cut off by her father was an opportunity for her to grow and work hard to become the person she wants to be. Instead, she flounders, loses all direction, and is almost unrecognizable as the character we have known.
Correct.
No. I appreciate the depression storyline being important for the time, but it just does not ring true to me, or at least not the way it played out. Passive aggressive? Yes.
Yeah.
Low self esteem? Of course.
Yep.
Completely alienated from his friends? Yep. Stalker tendencies? Oh, yeah. The whole story was laid out there. Noel keeps having inappropriate sex, the show's judgment, not mine, as a cry for help because he's depressed, not buying it based on the character as he has been developed. Actually, Felicity is the one who seems like she needs treatment for depression, not
Oh,
Noel.
correct.
And honestly, the biggest insult is Trevor. Sorry, Fish.
Uh-oh.
As a replacement for Tracy?
Okay, well, no, I'm not going to disagree with that.
I do not believe there is a woman on this planet who would think that Trevor is a suitable follow-up to the paragon of manly, sexy, cuddly smiliness that is Tracy. No, wait, I am wrong. The biggest insult is to Javier. The stupidity of his breakup with Samuel is asinine and beneath the characters we have come to love, though we rarely see Samuel. While Javier always acted silly, you count on him to see the truth of the situation and encourage, particularly Ben and Felicity, to do the right thing. His character brought just the right touch of lightness and perception. Senior year, he's just annoying.
Wow.
Very.
Okay, hold on. First, we have to go back to Trevor and Tracy.
Yep.
So, 100%. Like, there is no comparison between the two of them, right? The fact that Trevor is on the show means we have to deal with it. And I just happen to hate it less than other people. You know? It's like I've seen some glimmers, two. I've seen two glimmers of chemistry and a lot of weird and awkward moments. I don't know what's going to happen coming up, but yes, all the words that you used for Tracy, 100% yes, 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 yes. I don't know that you could find a good follow up to Tracy. I think you kind of had to go with subpar because what is Elena going to start dating Ben or Noel? I mean,
David comes back.
Eli.
Eli. She was kind of into Eli.
She was. I mean, that would be weird. Let's admit it.
Damn, I'm here to pick up Felicity's sketches.
Yeah, I feel like Eli's going to be a little too off in the clouds for her, though. She'd get annoyed.
Aww.
Yeah, all the words for Tracy. Yes. But all right, Javier being annoying. Now, I don't know if this maybe connects a bit with what I was saying either last episode or the episode before, whereas like, is he just being portrayed as way too much like the stereotypical gay man for the 90s, and now we find that really annoying and offensive? Or is that who Javier is? Like, he definitely, his dialogue was better earlier, and now it's a lot more, I feel like there's a lot more physical gags and like, the fluffy stuff he's wearing and the color pink and the like, let me be kind of like bitchy with my new friend. I don't know. We'll have to see, I guess, but we've seen a lot.
I don't think it improves in the back half of season 4. I think it
Yeah.
stays about where it is right now, continually.
I mean, it makes him more one-dimensional. You don't see him sitting down with Ben and having those deep conversations where he's a male role model. You see him with like Felicity eating ice cream. And I'm just like, yeah, like his role in the show has changed. And I think they meant to pump up the comedy. And I think instead they've fallen into the stereotype to do that, which is off-putting.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Noel with his depression and Felicity and Ben. I mean, Mary, you have a lot to say about Noel, don't you?
I
What
mean,
a
it's not
scathing
like,
review of Knowles. It's not wrong.
yeah, it's not like we're always saying Noel's been problematic from the start.
Mhm.
Um, all those things, yes, 100% true. However, I will say Ben has had his share of issues, like really mostly focused around the gambling, fighting kind of stuff, and which wasn't like, I don't know, maybe it was what, 4 episodes, and then sure there was the Avery thing, but that's a little more complicated. Um,
I think a lot of
so
people try to boil the Avery thing down to not being that complicated. And it always bothers me. It's like, no, that was complicated.
yeah, I feel like that was more complicated. But like, I'm just never gonna forget, putting a guy in the hospital and like the sound of the punches on the street or the punching of the lamp near Felicity. Like, those are moments that I can't erase.
Sure. But that's not what Mary disputes. She disputes him wanting to be a doctor all of a sudden.
No, 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 I agree. I'm just saying, in the scathing review of Noel,
Ah,
there are some like, there were points where I was like, Noel is the better of two bad options at this moment.
yeah, hard to say. I think Noel, um, I think I like where Noel is headed in terms of being a more balanced individual
Okay.
out of the context of Felicity.
All right.
Like, I don't know if there was ever hope for him in the context of Felicity. I think there was too much of an obsession there. It was always like on unstable footing. But now that he's limiting his time with Felicity, I do feel like I'm going to see a Noel that feels like he can just stay balanced a little bit more. And I prefer to see Noel in that position because it's too painful to watch
Mhm.
him not like that, you know?
Painful and cringy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just hard. It's like, why are you doing this stuff, Noel?
Yeah.
He's been on a journey, that man.
Tyra Banks, anyone?
I'm, yeah, long streaks in the hair, annulments. Yeah, he's done a
Yeah.
lot, this guy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
yeah.
I mean, that
Um,
might be that. I mean, if they were taking a more nuanced look, maybe, um, many of those actions perhaps could speak to an underlying mental health issue, um, perhaps beyond depression,
mhm,
or together with depression. Uh, yeah, I don't think
yeah,
you explain. I think you explain a lot of it with low self-esteem, but also he
yeah.
has these weird tendencies to just, I don't know, make these decisions that don't seem orderly. He seems like a very ordered, you know, I, I don't want to say neurotic, but like on that end of the spectrum. Like, he's a rule follower generally when it doesn't involve TP. Um, and and then he just goes off and
Yeah.
does stuff that doesn't make any sense. And so, I don't think they've quite portrayed necessarily bipolar very well with him, but like something more in the like, there's a manic side to what he does sometimes.
Hmm. Okay. Well, Mary, we need this full treatise on the end of the season. Just please and
Absolutely.
thank you. You're the best. Gosh,
Yay.
this is good stuff. This is good stuff. This is the and the research we needed too. Nicely
Hmm.
done. Oh my goodness. All right, Fish. It's time for us to rate the episode. I believe last time you went first.
I did.
And so I'm happy to start for this one. I I rated this one in the unit of romantic airport scenes
Oh,
because it was
nice.
just probably one of the last, I'm guessing.
Ever.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and say there's never been another one. I don't know, but they're probably before they go through security, and there's less urgency about that. So, like, I
Mhm.
think it's strange to think of that context for this. But anyway, I'm going to go with 7.9 out of 10 romantic airport scenes. I think I was expecting this to be higher.
Hmm.
Um, because there are certain moments that I think are really quite lovely and memorable. I mean, certainly Ben and Felicity getting back together was a moment I'm sure many people were happy about. And, the Ben running through the city streets and, them catching up at the airport. I think all of that's awesome and lovely and iconic in its way. And I think that, the walk and talk at the end of the episode with everybody at the dance is very nice. Um, but once again, I didn't need the music so much.
Yes.
That music so much underpinning everything.
Oh no.
So that didn't help. But also, as we really sat and unpacked this, I think that we did come across a writing problem. I think that I don't know what the show was trying to tell us about whether this is a happy story or a sad story, of people getting back together. Like I think they thought they were telling a happy story, and you and I didn't see it that way. And I think that was a miss of what they were trying to do. And I don't know if I wonder what listeners think about it. Like Fish, have we lived just too much particular kind of life? Or, like
I do.
if you've experienced something in a certain way, can you never see scenes like this in the positive way? And other people can? Like, I just don't know. So I think if what they wanted was for us to feel hopeful about Ben's mom and dad and Ben and Felicity, they fell short of that for us. And in fact, they fell in the opposite category for us. And because they've paralleled Ben and Felicity, Ben's mom and dad with the relationship of Ben and Felicity, it puts this weird energy on them getting back together here. But I want to see them getting back together as a fun, good thing that's a relief for both of them. So maybe I don't know. You just, when you do it in the context of an episode where it really looks like his parents are continuing a bad cycle, and Ben is directly relating that bad cycle to his relationship with Felicity, and he gets back together with her, how are we supposed to feel great about it? But I want to feel great about it. So I think it's just confusing writing for me. And but there are a lot of great moments and a lot of iconic moments, so I didn't want it to be so low. 7.9 out of 10 romantic airport scenes for me.
Okay. I mean, I pretty much felt the same way. It gets dinged for the music, all of it. I mean, that that particular Linda song. Um, just wish it wasn't there. And it gets dinged for what we've talked about and what you just said, not having the moment of Ben separating his relationship from his parents. Um, I actually like the way that they ended up telling the story about his mother and father. I think that adds a level of complexity and reality to it. It's just that then they don't explore that with Ben.
Mm-hmm.
They You're right, it calls his decision making into question because they don't tell us. exactly what he's thinking. He's hinting, here and there with like love and hurt and tests and mom and you and me and Felicity and wait, what? Um, so yeah, I feel like it is the main issue that I have around it has to do with the writing around Ben
Mhm.
and the reason for his decision. Everything else, I liked in this episode. Again, I'm loving Rita as a character, uh, and just generally, I mean, it's not that I enjoy the message that it's sending, but I think they very effectively told a sad story about his mom and dad. And was it separate? Like, had it been completely separate, they told two really great stories. One that I could feel really good about with Felicity and Ben, very romantic, very like, I don't know, I can feel really good about that. And then I can feel like really bad about, and in the complication of his, I like Noel and Sean together. Again, adorable. Sad that Elena and Megan were in this for a combined 20 seconds. But, what are we gonna
Mhm.
do? Didn't like that Javier was so shallow. But, all right. Guess that's who they're making him.
I don't know that he wasn't that before. I mean, this is a guy who's been talking about lipo since season one.
Yeah, but again, he had those moments where he was talking about relationships with Ben, and he was talking about what love means and what it looks like, and he was able to be like the older, wiser mentor, and I don't know, and like always rooting for love in this very optimistic, happy, like let's look on the bright side of life kind of way. And I
Mhm.
felt like that was more of his character rather than the kind of shallow, bitchy, I'm gonna wear pink kind of guy.
Okay.
So I feel like it has changed, and I don't love it. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm coming out around the same place. I don't think I disliked as much of it, maybe. So I'm gonna give it an 8.5, 8.5 globes. I would definitely watch it again.
Okay.
This is a good one. I really liked the shots through the windows.
Mhm.
I mean, there was a lot of like us or other people looking through glass. I enjoy it. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but I do.
All right. Well, there you have it. 8.5 out of 10 glubs, 7.9 out of 10 romantic airport scenes from us. But we want to hear from you all. Okay. We have to hear your thoughts. We really have to hear your thoughts because I'm very curious how this one landed for
Mm.
everybody. So please share your thoughts or your Felicity fan art with us at themelissafish@gmail.com. It's Melissa with one L, two S's, themelissafish@gmail.com. You can also be part of the conversation on Instagram with all of us over at Felicity Podcast. And if you want to know when we drop new episodes of the podcast, you can sign up for our newsletter. You can do that by checking wherever you listen to this podcast, check your show notes. The link is there. And while you're there, go ahead and rate and review us. It just helps other Felicity fans find this content. All right, Fish, next episode that we're going to watch.
Dun, dun,
God rest our souls.
dun.
Future Shock.
Future Shock.
How
So
do you
wait,
think?
hold on. This is episode 11?
12.
No,
The
no,
one we
the
just
one
did
we
is
just
11.
watched.
Mhm.
So let me count again because podcasting, amazing. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So this is the start of the 6.
Mhm.
But they haven't graduated.
No, 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 no.
Oh, they have 20. They had okay, it goes to 17. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
18 to 22 is the time travel.
Okay, so future shock. Well, we know
Is that a
it's
spoiler? Did I just say a spoiler? Sorry, spoiler alert. We've said that, right?
the
The back
18.
five is like time travel. We've said that,
We've said
right?
that so many
Okay,
times.
great, great. I just had a brain fart. It's fine. Yeah, 12
Yes.
through 17 is
The last 6 of the regular
yeah,
season, we'll say.
yeah.
All right, so we know it's in the future because it's after winter break, and the shock is that Lauren is pregnant.
Mhm.
Ta-da!
Good guess.
Yeah,
Excellent guess
we
that
know
we've been
this
completely spoiled on.
because Melissa spoiled it
So
like
hard,
so hard.
relentlessly.
Yeah, and last time we did give you a spoiler alert, and you could have gone ahead and she said, watch 3 episodes. This time we didn't give you a spoiler alert. So I apologize. That was a huge spoiler.
No, but I mean, I think like assume that we've been talking about the spoiler for like I don't know. I guess I just figured we dropped that. It's dropped.
But also at the beginning of every show, we say it's not a spoiler free
We
podcast.
sure do,
So,
and I make
yep.
a lot of embellishment around that point, if you will. Like you may just be like la la la. It doesn't mean anything. Well, folks, we drop spoilers. Okay, that's how
Yeah.
we do it. That's how we roll.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's
So
an
that's my
excellent guess.
prediction,
Yeah.
which is less of a prediction than just a regurgitation of what you said last episode.
So true. Yeah. Well, you get ready.
Apparently, evil Lauren is on her way.
This will be interesting to talk about. I don't know what to tell you. All right. Well, anything else you wanted to say about this one, Fish?
Nope. I think we've done it all.
All right. Well, until next time, don't hook up with Ben while I'm gone.
I'm a fish.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.